We have a question which says to write a function which, given a positive integer n and another integer key, returns the smallest digit in n greater than key. So for example, if this here is n and key is 3, then the smallest digit in here that is greater than 3 is 5. So the function should return 5. And they also say here the function should return -1 if there is no digit in n greater than key. So for instance, in this case here, if key was 9, there is no digit in here that is greater than 9. So in a case like that, the function will return -1. Alright, so we have a few concepts bouncing around here, and we just need to make sure that we know how to do certain things, right? So the idea is that one of the ideas is that we have n, which is an integer. So in your mind, you should picture a box that could store an integer. The integer that we were dealing with here is 8150. So 8150. Now we want to get digits. We want to get digits from n. The first digit we will want to get is 0. And then we have the checks, right? We will have a check to see if 0 is greater than key, if 0 is greater than key and less than what we assume to be the smallest. Then we have found a new smallest, so we can set smallest to digit. Okay, so that's a general idea of what we want to do. But the most difficult thing is figuring out how to get 0 out of n. And the answer to that, whenever I want to get a digit from an integer, the answer is always to mod by 10. Because if I take any number, right? So let's just take another example here. Just a random number. So 1, 2, 4, 5. If I take this number and I mod by 10, I am going to get 5 out of that. Right, because this here mod 10 will give me the remainder when divided by 10, and if I take this and I divide by 10, I will get a remainder of 5. Now the next step after I get a digit, I will want to, so this is the first thing, we want to get digits. After that, we want to get rid of digits. Okay, we want to get rid of digits, and the way to do that is we divide by 10. So after I mod 10, I mod by 10 and I get 5. If I take the same number here, the 1, 2, 4, 5, and I divide by 10, I will get 1, 2, 4. And the reason why I get this here is because we're dealing with integer division, right? The slash here is operating on an integer. So therefore, instead of like in the real world, we will get 124.5. Because this is integer division, the 5 is left out. So we are left with 1, 2, 4. So those are the two main concepts that you want to think about when you do a question like this. First thing is to get a digit, then to get rid of a digit. And these here are the ways that we do that. Okay, so now to get into the code, they say that they want a function, so we'll give them a function. It's going to be int because it's going to return some digit, smallest digit that's greater than key. I will call this smallest digit. Doesn't matter what you call it, but we shall name it meaningfully. So smallest digit, int smallest digit, and we need to accept two integers. The n, which is the number like this here, the 8150, that's n. And we also need to accept key, which is the number we are checking. It should be greater than key, right? Now I am gonna start up. I need a variable to keep track of what I currently assume to be the smallest digit. Okay, so I'm gonna have int smallest. Okay, and I will set this. So whenever I am trying to find a small number, I need to initialize this to some big number. So I'm going to have smallest digit, smallest, and I'll set this to something like 10 because a digit could never be 10, right? The biggest digit possible is 9. So this is fine, right? Int smallest assigned to 10. I will also have a boolean variable called found. Okay, bool found. I will set this to false. I have found here because found is going to tell me if there is even any digit in n that is greater than key, because they say here, if not, I need to return -1. So that's the purpose of found. It's just going to tell me at the end of it if I can find a digit in n that is greater than key. Alright, what else will I need? I'm going to have a variable here called digit, D-I-G-I-T, where I will store a digit that I pull out of n by using mod. And the idea here is that we want to start pulling out digits from n, and we're going to do this while n is greater than or equal to, should it be equal to? I think greater will work fine, right? While n is greater than 0. We want to do this process where we get a digit from n, right? So we say digit assigned to n mod 10. And in the first, when this runs the first time, when this loop runs the first time, we will get 0. Right, we're gonna get 0. Now we have to ask the question if digit is greater than key and the digit that I just got, D-I-G-I-T, is less than what I currently assume to be smallest, which I set to 10 up here. But as we know, digit is not greater than key, right? Because the key in this example here was 3, right? So okay, so if this happens though, if digit happens to be greater than key, we have found a new smallest. So we need to update smallest by saying smallest assigned to digit. We have saved our newly found small digit inside of smallest, and also we have found a digit, right? We found some digit that is greater than key, which means that we should update found to true. Set found to true. Now this line here, this is the line using mod, which gets a digit from n. Now we need to get rid of the 0. We want to get rid of it, which is this line here, n assigned to n/10. It's going to get rid of the 0 and store it back in n, and this process is going to continue while n is greater than 0. Yeah, the greater than it there is correct. Now when I reach outside the while loop, okay, I have two possibilities. Either one, I have found some digit that is greater than n. So if I found some digit greater than n, then I can return smallest. Okay. Else, the only other possibility is I didn't find a digit greater than n, so I can return -1, which is what they want. Okay, -1, and we can test this out. Let's test it out a little bit. Should not take too long. Go right here. Alright, so we need to give it some data, some inputs. Right inside of main, I'm just going to see out smallest digit. I'm calling the function, and I'm passing the same example we have up here, the 8150, and I'm also passing my key, which was 3. The answer I should get out of this is 5. I should get 5 out of this if everything runs properly. Okay, so I'll say here G++. What is this? This is that. Good. Compiles, run, and I get 5. Now if I change key to something like 9, there is no digit in here that is greater than 9. So if I run this, I should get -1. I should get -1 as my answer, which I do. I get -1. Let's say my key was 0, right? So I'm looking for the smallest digit that is greater than 0, which should be 1. It should be this 1 right there. So let's recompile and test, and I get that 1. So I think we are good here. This runs properly, and the most important thing, really, the thing to take away from this is knowing how to get a digit from an integer and how to get rid of that digit from an integer. And that is it.